Hello, Shenanigamers, and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. Last time we went into the ruins and went up against the sonorous prophet with Machel, Just Relax Kid, Junior, Koth, and Peroy. We came out of that on top. And then we sent many heroes to the various different stress relieving facilities that we have, because a lot of people were stressed out from previous quests and from that quest, except of course for Michelle, who ended up just fine, more or less. So this time around I think we're gonna go on another short champion mission into the ruins and get this Manslayer's Ring. Plus 25% damage versus human enemies. Minus 8 dodge. 6,000 coin, 3 portraits. I'd be more interested in getting some busts. That way we can potentially get the Sanguine Vintners built. Because once the Vintners are built, thinking of heading into the courtyard and starting the Crimson Court stuff. But unfortunately, that means that if we want to go into there, we're going to need a team, at least 4 heroes on this roster that are at levels 0, 1, or 2. Because level 3 heroes will not go on apprentice missions. And anything above that won't go on an apprentice mission. So it means we might have to start thinning out this roster a bit. Which is rather unfortunate. Now, if it happens naturally through quests and such, or by going to the Darkest Dungeon, so be it. But it'd be pretty rough if we had to start kicking people off of the roster. I really would prefer we didn't have to do that, but you know, it might happen. But either way, we're gonna head to the ruins for a scouting mission. It's a short one. Shouldn't be anything too bad. So let's go ahead and bring Mr. Villa. Being a crusader and a ruins adventurer and an unholy hater, the ruins are kind of Mr. Villa's playground, in a way. So we'll definitely be bringing them. We could bring Crimson Vicaire, but they have a fear of the unholy, which is not really great. And Dabig Shaban being more focused on bleeds and stress relief, and having a fear of the unholy is also not a great combination there. We could bring Solaires. We could bring Mortimer, they're a ruined scrounger. It's not too bad. So yeah, we'll put Mortimer on the team here. Vaux is an unholy hater, so we could bring them. Veral is a ruins tactician, so we could bring them. Malbenk is also a ruins tactician. We don't use Malbenk very much. We could bring them with. We could actually bring them with right there. So we could have Mr. Villa up front to deal with the unholy enemies and to pretty much be the tank with Bulwark of Faith giving 30% protection. Malbenk and Mortimer for damage, stuns, blights, and bleeds. And Malbenk can also do a little bit of healing with Reclaim, and a little bit of stress healing with Endure. And then who else could we take? We could take Guerebaut. They're an unholy slayer. So yeah, that could work. We've got someone else who can heal, and do blights, and do stuns, and can clear corpses. I think this is a pretty decent looking team there. We could bring Dwai or Zombie, but Zombie is probably better off in the Warrens. Or in the Cove. Somewhere with Eldritch enemies or something along those lines. But yeah, I think this will be the party we're going to use here. So let's go ahead and make sure we unequipped and sorted by rarity all trinkets. And then we'll see what we can do. So, Mr. Villa has minus 20% stress in the ruins. So let's see if we can balance that out. Taking them Barristan's Head. Now they'll have 55% protection when they use Bulwark of Faith. And we could drop their damage just a little bit by giving them Commander's Orders. And against unholy enemies, Mr. Villa has even lower stress, so that could be good. Their damage only drops by 1. I don't like that Villa has the clumsy quirk, but we can try and get rid of that at some point in the future. Now, Malbank. Let's see, what can we give you here? Let's see. Let's see. If we give you the Resurrection's Collar and the Punishment's Hood, then technically that would give you plus 13% healing skills, plus 5% bleed skill chance, and plus 15% damage if your hit points are below 40%. As opposed to the Heartburst Hood, which we would normally put on, which gives you plus 4 speed if your hit points are below 40%. I think this combination kind of balances itself out. It makes both the buffs on it kind of lesser, but it does balance out in a way, and Ruin's Tactician will mean that you'd be doing more damage. And being a Manslayer means that any human enemies, the cultists that we come across, or any outlaws, brigands, or otherwise nasty human enemies, will be taking your hits a lot more. I was gonna say taking more damage, which they will be, because Ruin's Tactician, but they'll be taking more damage more frequently, because that'll up your accuracy and crit chance against them. I feel like we can still do better than this, though, in terms of capitalizing on your skill set. Let's see what we can do. Bleed Amulet is probably our best bet. Blight resistance is only 80%, which is about standard, I think. Villa has about the same. And if we swap out Punishment's Hood for the Bleed Amulet, it still gets us the extra 5% bleed skill chance. Healing skills are now 33% better, and Blight Resist becomes 60%. But we do have Whereabout for any blights or bleeds that show up with their Battlefield Medicine skill. So we can kind of deal with this. What else could we possibly give you? It doesn't really seem like there's much we could give you that would be better than that. In all honesty. Yeah, I think that's about the best we can do right now. Maybe the Warrior's Cap, but I don't think so. So yeah, we'll go with that. Mortimer, I'm going to give you the Padlock of Transference for the extra stun and blight skill chance. Always useful. And then the Lock of Fury lowers max HP by 10%, but the extra damage and speed will more than make up for that. Being a ruined scrounger, we now have higher. We will now have higher scouting chances, and being a stress faster, if Mortimer gets stressed out and we have hunger that we have to deal with, we will consume less food because of that. And the restraining padlock would be good if we were basing Mortimer more on the transformed beast damage side of things. Instead, we're focusing more on the blight, stun, human, non-transforming side of things. So, yeah, that's where that is. What about? Let's see what we can do for you. A poisoned herb, almost said a disease herb, no, but the poisoned herb is almost a must. The extra blight skill chance is great there. The Chirurgeon's Charm is tempting. And I might end up going with exactly that. The extra healing will be useful. So yes, we're going to go with the Chirurgeon's Charm there. Okay. Let's go ahead and provision. So we have an anti-venom and a holy water already. We're going to take a full stack and a half of food. We're going to take 3 shovels. We're going to take... we'll take 4 anti-venoms. 4 bandages. We'll take 3 keys. We'll get up to 6 holy waters, just in case something tough comes our way, or in case we come across any curios that need holy water. That could potentially remove negative quirks. We'll take 4 laudanum, just in case we come across a madman that really does us in. We're going to take a stack and a half of torches because Bulwark of Faith does a lot to restore the light. And then I believe we're good to go. So let's go ahead and embark. Ruins. You can retreat from combat and even abandon quests. If things are going terribly, live to fight another day.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
Alright, so we start off with a scout, which reveals a room battle and a curio to the right, and a hallway battle and a curio to the left, with an empty room there. Let's see. We're not going to be able to avoid going either way entirely, so let's head this way. Get the hallway battle out of the way first. Right. And we have infamous cutthroats, 2 infamous cutthroats, and a brigand hunter who's stealth. Well then, let's go for the punish on the cutthroat. Get this one up here. Get the bleed going there. Then we can go for the... yeah, we'll go for the disorienting blast on the other cutthroat. Get the stun, and shuffle them up to the front. And then let's actually go for the beast bile here. That'll hit the hunter and the cutthroat. And Villa can go for Bulwark of Faith. That'll bring light up again instead of protections. Now 55% protection. Blanket fire. Damages everybody. Debuffs. Dodge. Lowers the dodge by 6. 2 of them. Slice and dice. Ow. Debuffs. Mulbank. Yeah, Mulbank and Villa got lowered dodges there. Let's go with the Beast Pile again, which they both dodge. There's enough damage over time effects going on this infamous cutthroat here that they're going to be gone the next opportunity they get to take any sort of action. So we can go ahead and use punishment on this cutthroat, or punish. Another blanket fire. Mortimer dodged it, but what about the crit? let's go ahead and have what about to heal themselves?
Soothed.
They're gonna need it. And the shank on Villa. Ow. And they get the bleed.
Her death by inches.
There goes the cutthroat. Villa doesn't need a bandage as bad as he thinks he does there. Sorry, you don't. It's not quite as imperative as you may think at the moment. So, let's go ahead and use Inspiring Cry on yourself. There, though. Get your stress down a bit and heal you up a little. Now let's go for the Manacles Hunter. You resist the stun, that's fine. We're gonna go for Reclaim on what about here? Set up the Restoration. And then start to bleed there. Another Blanket Fire. Ow. And the Shank. Ow. On Villa. That bleed's getting nasty. We're gonna go for the... yeah, we're gonna go for the Smite from the Hunter, which they dodge. Oh, there's a crit heal for 6 from that Restoration. Great. Well, then let's go for the Battlefield Medicine on Malbec. Heals them up a little bit and gets that bleed taken care of. Another Blanket Fire. And what about Mortimer dodged it at least? Mortimer can go ahead and use Absolution, heal themselves up a little. What about okay on health? Go ahead and heal Villa, get rid of that bleed. Don't want to deal with that. We'll go for the Punish.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
That'll take them down. Then the Inspiring Cry, again, on yourself, Villa. And then we'll go for the Manacles on the Hunter. To resist the stun, go for the Blanket Fire. Everyone but Malbank dodged it. Go with the Battlefield Medicine on Malbank. Crit heal for 8. For the Reclaim on Villa. And we'll go for the Inspiring Cry on Malbank. Hunter moves up. Go for the Manacles again. They dodge. We go for Battlefield Medicine on Malbank again. Malbank is the hardest one to heal, because they can't heal themselves. And then we'll just go with the Punish on the Brigand Hunter. Bleed is set up there. That'll take care of it.
Weapon that cuts on its own.
4 busts and some gold. We'll take that. Go up to this curio here. Alright. Let's see, what can we do here then? Mr. Villa, you can go ahead and use some holy water on this here. Because I'm sure you're curried favors from the gods, I believe is what that said. So then now we have 30% extra damage with Villa until camp. Against unholy enemies, that will become an insane amount of damage. 11 to 21 is a good range already. We get a scout here, which reveals a curio, an obstacle, and then a room battle with a curio. So let's check out the curio first. We'll have Mortimer check out the stack of books. They're desiccated and unremarkable. Well,
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
get through that obstacle. Torchlight up, head into this room. And we have 2 Brigand Raiders and a Brigand Hunter. Hunter opens up with a blanket shot. Good full team dodge though. Shank on Guerbout. 10, it's not great. Resisted a debuff for bleed, whichever one it was. I didn't quite catch it. But the, actually, yeah, it was a bleed. Yeah, they resisted bleed. Yeah, it was... I believe there was... Yeah, that's right, it was a bleed. Yeah, I did catch it, it just didn't quite register in my head. And then... they also marked what about? So let's go ahead and use some flame here on them. Malbank resists the bleed, the restoration is set up on Guerbout. Guerbout can go ahead and some decent protection on these guys. Let's go ahead and just focus on healing here. Go with the battlefield medicine on yourself there, Guetabout. And then we'll go with the manacles on this friggin' raider, which actually does stun them. And then the stun goes away immediately, but we got the stun in the first place. And we'll set up the full one of faith, Mr. Villa.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Set up the claim on Mr. Villa. Resisting bleed. Another blanket fire. Another great full team dodge. Alright, let's go for the Beast Spile. Hits both of them. Blights and debuffs the Hunter, but Raider resists both of them. Now let's go ahead and keep healing Guetabout. I'll heal them up to 4. Almost at full health there. Slice and dice on Villa and Bank. Ow. And Villa resisted the debuff. The uppercut slice on Mr. Villa there. They resisted the move. There we go. And let's go with the Inspiring Cry on Villa there, healing him up, reducing stress. And then we'll go for the manacles on this raider again. And we get the stun again. Alright. Let's go for the disorienting blast on the brigand hunter, see if we can stun them too. And we do, and we actually move them forward a bit. There goes their stun. So let's go for the punish here on this brigand raider.
Precision and
Crit for
power.
11. They resist the debuff and the bleed though. Slice and dice. Good dodge from both of you. And let's actually go with the stunning blow here. They resist the stun, that's fine. Alright. Let's go with the battlefield medicine on Melbank. Since their health is getting a little bit lower than I'd like. We'll go for the reclaim on Villa. Gets Melbank bleeding. With the manacles on the raider. In front. We actually get the stun there. So we've at least stunned one of them this time around. There goes the stun. Blanket fire. Ow. And Shank. What about? Ow. They resisted the bleed. Mark is still there. Let's go ahead and use the smite here on this raider.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them.
Take care of them.
all.
Then we'll go with the Beast Spile.
A singular strike.
Hit them both. Crit the Hunter. And got the Blight on both of them. Let's go ahead and use Battlefield Medicine here on the bike. Get rid of that bleed. Another Blanket Fire. Good full team dodge. Let's go for the Reclaim on Guetabout. Another bleed. Slice and dice. Ow. I think took 10 from that. It's very painful. So let's go for the smite here on this brigand hunter.
As the fiend
Take them
falls,
down.
a faint hope blossoms.
And then we can go for... We're actually going to go for Absolution here with Mortimer. Heal them up a little bit. And we'll go for the Battlefield Medicine on the bank again. Get that bleed. We're going to go for another Reclaim on Guetabout. They resist the bleed there. Another Slice and Dice.
Ringing
Crits Villa for
ears.
8.
Blurred vision.
Ow.
The end approaches.
Then we're going to go with the Inspiring Cry on Villa. Heal them up a little bit, drop their stress. Villa has quite a bit of stress at the moment. Not an insane amount, but enough that it's a little worried. So now we're going to go ahead and we'll go for the Reign of Sorrows. Get that Raider in the back. Crit. Get the bleed. Damage over time effects will take care of them. We're going to use Battlefield Medicine here. On Malbank. The crit heal for 6. Use Absolution here with Mortimer. Inspiring Cry here on Villa. The crit heal for 4. Dropping their stress by a lot.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Get a key, an onyx, and some gold. Take what we can from that. Hang on 1 second. Sorry about that, Shenanigamers. Had to take care of something real quick. We're back now. So let's see. A locked sarcophagus. We can use the skeleton key here.
A fortune.
Some busts.
Waiting to be spent.
Gold. We get the scout in this room. Curio in this hallway. An empty room at the end. It's alright. We'll just move along this way. Hunger, we can deal with that just fine. So let's see, we have a stack of books. Let's go ahead and have Mortimer look through this. It has a lasting effect, which gives them Fairweather Fighter, which replaces stress faster. Plus 20% damage if HP above 99%. So whenever Mortimer is fully healed, they have 20% higher damage. Interesting. Let's go ahead and head into this room. We don't get a scout from it. There's now a hallway battle on the way back. Go ahead and bring the torchlight up before we head that way. And we have a Bone Militia, Bone Sergeant, who is stealth, and a Bone Sharpshooter. Militia has 16 HP, 21 dodge, 30 speed, 240% bleed resistance, 50% stun, blight, and move resistance, and 55% debuff resistance. The Sergeant has 20 hit points, 25% protection, 21 dodge, 4 speed, 50% blight resistance, 240% speed resistance, 55% debuff resistance, 60% move resistance, 65% stun resistance. The Sharpshooter has 29 hit points, 26 dodge, 7 speed, 50% stun and blight resistance, 240% bleed resistance, 55% debuff resistance, 65% move resistance, and all 3 of them are unholy. So this will be where Villa really gets a chance to shine. Let's go ahead and hit this militia front with a punish. Resist the bleed, but it lowers the resistance. And we'll go for a battlefield medicine on Malbank. Just to try and keep them healed up. And let's go for the manacles on the Sharpshooter. Resist the stun. And then we're actually going to have, this time around, we're going to have Villa, because Villa has the Twilight Dreamer quirk. They ignore stealth. So, we're going to have them try to smite this Bone Sergeant. With a crit for 31. That'll take them out. Alright. It gives them a little bit of a buff with even more protection for a round. That's great. Yeah, Bayonet Jab, Malbank, which they do not dodge, and then a Bump in the Night, Malbank, which they do dodge. So let's go ahead and use the manacles again on the Sharpshooter. Decent amount of damage. They resist the stun though. Go for the punish on the Bone Militia again. More damage. They resist the bleed. Bleed resistance is lowered. Bayonet Jab on Villa. Doesn't do that much. Battlefield Medicine.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Bump of the Night at Malbank, which they dodge. And then go for the smite on the sharpshooter.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the
23
offensive.
damage will take them down. And then we'll go ahead and just use the manacles on the militia.
Confidence surges as the
That'll
enemy
get rid of that.
crumbles.
Key, a ruby, and some coin, some gold. We'll take all that we can and keep moving. Things are getting a little choppy here. Alright, now hang on a second. Sorry about that, Shenanigamers. Had to take care of something real quick. We're back now. So, let's see what's down this way. Things seem to have smoothed out a little bit. That's good. Let's keep going then. And we'll just head down this way. Alright, now let's make sure we bring the torchlight back up before we head down this way. And we'll check what's in this pack. It contains loot.
Wealth beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Fuel the hunger. Take what we can from that pack we just looted. Bring the torchlight up. Head into the room. And we have a bone general, 2 bone royalties. General has 68 hit points, 33% protection, 21 dodge, 2 speed, 90% stun resistance, 50% blight resistance, 240% bleed resistance, 60% debuff resistance, 115% move resistance. The royalty has 20 hit points, 10 speed, .50% stun resistance. Oh. Sorry about that, Shenanigamers. Had to take care of something real quick. We're back now. 50% stun resistance. Let's see. You're on the... Yeah. Let's try this again. Sorry about that, Shenanigamers. Had to take care of something real quick. We're back now. So, yes, the royalty has 20 hit points, 34 dodge, 10 speed, 50% stun resistance, and blight resistance, and move resistance, 55% debuff resistance, and 240% bleed resistance. And all of them, the royalty and the general, are unholy. So, Bill is going to do a lot of damage here, potentially. So let's try and get these royalties down as quick as we can. So we'll hit them with the Rain of Sorrows. We'll deal some decent damage. We're going to go ahead and use the manacles on this royalty, try and get the stun, which we do end up getting. We'll go with the disorienting blast here on this one, try to get the stun there as well, which we do get. And then we'll go with the Bulwark of Faith here for Mr. Villa.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Stuns go off, Crushing Blow on Villa. 10, despite all that protection. And they resist the debuff, which is great. Let's go for another... Actually, no, we're going to go for the Reclaim on Villa here. So we get that healing set up there. And then we'll go for the Plague Grenade.
Well struck.
These 2 bone royalties up there. We get the crit on the one at the back, but I think it did the same damage to both of them. Tempting Goblet on Mr. Villa, which they dodge. And a Tempting Goblet on the bank, which they do not dodge. And they get a debuff from it as well. We're gonna go with the Manacles on this bone royalty. We get the stun again, and the Blight will take care of them. Ground Pound, ow. Everyone resists the stun, at least. And then we're gonna have Mr. Villa here go for the Stunning Blow on the Bone General. They resist the stun, which is about as expected, but that's fine. So let's go with the Manacles on the General. And we actually get the stun.
Slowly.
That
Gently.
royalty
This
dies,
is how life
goes
is
away,
taken.
as does that one. Let's go with the Reclaim on Guerebout, resisting the debuff again, or the bleed, not the debuff. Go with the Battlefield Medicine here on Malbank with a crit heal for 8, which is fantastic. Stun goes off there. Go for an Inspiring Cry on Malbank here. Bring them up a little bit more. Crit heal from that restoration for Guerebout. We'll go with... we're going to go with the Battlefield Medicine on Malbank here. From another crit heal for 8, which is fantastic. And then we're going to go for a Reclaim here on Villa, which is bleed. And then we'll go for the Beast Spile on this General. No damage, but we do blight them and lower their blight resistance. And then we're going to go for the Smite. A nice 14 damage there. Crushing Blow on Mr. Villa. They resist the debuff. And we'll go for the Manacles. We do not get the stun, it's fine. Keep the Reclaim set up on Villa. Malbank gets a bleed. Get rid of that with Battlefield Medicine. General goes for Ground Pound. Mortimer dodged it. Everyone else didn't, but everyone resisted the stun. And then we'll go for the Smite again. Yep. We're getting them down there. We're going to go for the Absolution here with Mortimer. Keep their health as high as we can. And we'll go for another Reclaim on Villa, just to keep that health regen going. Another Bleed. We'll fix with Battlefield Medicine with a crit heal for 8.
Pumps. The limbs obey.
Blight keeps ticking down. Ground Pound. Mortimer dodges again.
Unbalanced.
Crits. Guerebout for 11. And everyone resists the stun again. This time we're going to go for the Inspiring Cry on Guerebout.
Momentary abatement.
They just got hit pretty hard. We need to get them healed. We're going to go for the Absolution again with Mortimer. Crit heal for 8. Go for the Reclaim on Guerebout this time. And we're going to go with a Noxious Blast, actually. They resist the accuracy debuff, but we do get a decent blight on them. So now they're on a timer, essentially. And then we're going to go for a Stunning Blow. Resist the stun, that's fine. Crushing Blow on Mr. Villa. Ow. Resist the debuff. So the blight will take care of them. We don't have to worry about that. Let's go for the Manacles.
Monster's size has no
I'm gonna see if we can
intrinsic
get
merit,
a little bit of damage and
unless
stun them so we can heal a bit more, but
inordinate be
crit
considered
for
a
8
virtue.
takes them out, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and have this food we just got be used to heal Guerebout a little bit. Take the medicinal herbs, the sapphire, the coin. We do get a scout. There's a hallway battle this way and a room battle with treasure. And a curio that way. There's a curio up this way in an empty room. Curio and an obstacle leading to that empty room. And a curio and a trap closed. So let's see what we can get from going this way. From going this way, we can get an Iron Maiden. Go ahead and use the medicinal herbs. I don't think we actually brought medicinal herbs with us. We'll take that extra torch. Take what we can of the coin there. No. Actually, you know what? We're going to circle around here. I'm going to do a little bit of backtracking. Just enough to get us here. We've got the curio. Don't need to go further. We're actually going to go this way. Now that's excellent. Use this torch we just got here. And then we're actually going to have Malbank use the holy water here. Now, Malbank also has extra damage until camp, which we can use in this fight. Which we get the surprise, the Cultist Witch, with 25 hit points, 34 dodge, 9 speed. A human, 60% blight and bleed resistance, 80% debuff resistance, 50% move resistance, and 65% stun resistance. And then we have this insatiable ghoul. We've encountered one of them before. Let's go for the manacles on the witch. We may have encountered a witch before and I read off their stat block, but now we've done it again. I know we've encountered the insatiable ghouls before though. Now, let's go ahead and try to get a Noxus Blast. Set up insatiable ghoul with crit for 2. I get the accuracy debuff and the blight. And then we're gonna go with the punish on the ghoul. To resist the debuff, we do get the bleed. And then we're gonna go ahead and use Bulwark of Faith. Max out the light, protections up, which is stunned, ghoul, goes for the rend on Villa. Ow. Gets the debuff and the bleed. Stressful incantation on Mortimer. They are now marked. We're gonna go for another punish here on the school. Get them down as quick as we can. We get the debuff that time. We're gonna go for absolution here, actually. Keep Mortimer at higher health. Skull toss at Mortimer. A lot of damage there. Ow. And they get stunned. Let's go for another Noxious Blast here. Like that. Get another debuff there, so accuracy is even lower. 12 damage per round for the blight, and 10 damage per round for the bleed. We don't have to worry about them anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and use the bandage here on Villa. And we'll have them use the inspiring cry on Mortimer. Crit heal. Mortimer stunned. Stressful incantation on Mortimer. Looks like dodge. Damage over time takes care of the ghoul. We'll go for reclaim here on Villa. They resist the debuff, or the bleed rather, not the debuff. And that's a crit heal for 6 for Villa. We're gonna have Villa heal themselves a little bit.
As the light gains purchase,
we'll go for a battlefield medicine with them as well.
Purpose is made clear.
We'll go for the manacles here. Try and stun this witch. If we get the stun, hopefully, go for another reclaim on Villa there. Resist the bleed again. And a battlefield medicine on Villa. Villa's taking a lot of damage. Or at least they're hard to heal with how little these heals have been doing. So then we're going to have Villa use Inspiring Cry on Mortimer. Mortimer can heal themselves, but it's still helpful to have that there. Then we'll go for punish here. And with a crit for 17, we'll just take them down.
A faint hope blossoms. As victories mount,
we'll
so
have
too will resistance.
Malbank eat this food to heal up. Take the busts, and take the jade, and continue on. And then we have an infamous bloodletter and a brigand hunter. So let's go ahead and do what we can here. Let's go for the disorienting blast and the bloodletter. They resist the move and the stun. Just trying to get that brigand up front so that Villa could take care of them, but no such luck. Anyway, we'll just go for the punish on the bloodletter then. resist the debuff and bleed. And let's go for the Beast's Bile. Thankfully we got the surprise, so everyone's going before the enemies here. We got the Blight and the debuff on the Bloodletter. The Hunter resisting them both. And we're actually going to go for the Stunning Blow rather than the Bulwark of Fate. Which they dodge, of course. Blanket Fire.
Exposed to a
Crits,
killing blow.
what about in Malbank? But Mortimer and Villa both dodge. I'm going to point blank shot on Villa. Ow. It's quite a bit. And then they are debuffed with lower speed. Let's go for the... Let's go for the Beast Pile again. They both dodge that time. Let's go for the Punish again. Get the bleed and the debuff that time. Blanket Fire. Mortimer dodged it at least. Debuffed everyone that got hit. And then we'll go for another Noxious Blast on this Bloodletter. Well, I guess we'll go for Noxious Blast on the Bloodletter, if we didn't already. Now we'll set Villa up with the protections from Bulwark of Fate.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Point blank shot on the bank. Ow!
A hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
Staggering force. I see only swirling blackness. Ugh. Alright, Malbank. That's dangerous. There's not enough damage on the Bloodletter currently to take them out with the damage over time effects from the Blight and the Bleed. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Punish here. Some more damage. Blanket Fire.
Survival is a tenuous
Malbank
proposition
ends up dying.
in this sprawling tomb.
But in their death, they crit healed everyone on our team. Villa, Mortimer, and Wetabout now been healed. And this team still works in these positions. Wetabout can work from the third position, Mortimer can work from the second, and Villa's still in the first. We don't have any bleeds now, but we're in the ruins. Blights are more of a likely candidate to get things done here anyway. So we can still work with this. So we can still complete this quest. It's a shame to lose them, but we'll avenge them. The Manacles get the stun on the Hunter, thankfully. So let's go ahead and go for a Plague Grenade here. Start getting a Blight on the Hunter. And we'll go for an Inspiring Cry on Wetabout. To get their strengths down a bit.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Mortimer can go for an Absolution to drop their stress a bit. Go for a Noxious Blast here. Blight nearly takes care of them. They're left with a bit of health. Smite will take care of that
formation is
for us.
broken. Maintain the offensive.
Now then, let's take what we can from here. Do with it what we can. We'll take the extra food. We can't take any more coin. We use the medicinal herbs here on Villa. Not that they need to use them right now. We'll swap this Jade out for the Resurrection's Collar. And Bleed Amulet we can swap out for... well, let's see. Did we get a Scout here? We did not. Not that we need one. We can avoid going to this room entirely. So it's not like we really need the Scout. Let's see. What do we swap here? I think we swap the Anti-Venoms for the Bleed Amulet. There we go. Now we'll just go ahead and use the Skeleton Key here. Deeds, portraits, and lots of crests. Well, as much as I would love those crests, I think we're good to go here. So let's just head up this way. It's a shame to lose Malbank. 60, 60, and 70. What about it is? Good job. The Iron Maiden. We'll have you look into it. What about stash loot? Another sapphire and more gold. I'll take the sapphire at least. Heading into this room. We know there's no room battle here. Torchlight. We'll head down this corridor, hallway, whatever it is here.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Take care of that. The pack here has a map inside. So there's a curio and a trap ahead. So we might as well go that way just to get the curio. And then that room might have a scout that will reveal a secret area. And we've now completed the quest. We're going to go ahead and continue adventuring just to see if there's something else we can get from this curio here. And if that room up ahead there can reveal a scout. Hunger, we'll deal with that, just fine. And we'll head up this way. And this is a bookcase. So let's just go ahead and have what about checked out. Okay, dull and uninteresting. Okay. Well then. That's pretty much all we need to know. Now, since we only have a 70% chance of disarming that trap, it could still end up triggering and stressing someone out even further. Everyone's at pretty decent levels of stress now, and I don't really want them to get higher, so we're going to go ahead and complete this quest now rather than continuing on and banking on a scout we may not get.
And we will find whatever secrets they hold.
Got a decent amount of money from that, and we did collect a lot of busts from this. Unfortunately, Malbank is now fallen among the dead. But Guerabout, Mortimer, and Villa are now all level 6 legends. Guerabout got Nymphomania. Okay! So they now have plus 20% stress heal received in Brothel. Alright then.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
So everyone should be a little calmer now. Yep. Peroi is still away. Vashal seems to have gone missing. And everyone else seems to have recovered rather well. But we now have another open spot in this roster, and we could fill that with another flagellant if they're there. Let's check the Nomad Wagon first. We have the Book of we have the Fleet Florin, the Commander's Orders, the Book of Holiness, minus 20% stress, minus 10% death blow resist. And that's kind of a risk reward there. And then a Bleed Charm. And in the Stagecoach, we have a Veteran Grave Robber, an Apprentice Abomination, an Apprentice Musketeer, and then a Leper, Hellion, Jester, and Plague Doctor that are all at Seeker level. We have exactly enough busts now, though, that we can do this. Sanguine Vintners, 2 bottles of the blood brewed each week. We're going to construct it. Alright, we have the building constructed. Now, we're going to go ahead and unequip all trinkets, sort them by rarity, and that is going to go ahead and do it for this episode of Darkest Dungeon. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more content like this, or the other kinds of content that we put out on the channel. We're going to keep that content coming, so don't worry about that. Hit the notification bell so that you receive notifications whenever we upload new videos. Leave a comment on the video, it helps us out a lot, it really, really does. Also, remember to leave a comment if you want to have one of the heroes in this roster named after you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.